Hello friends, in today's video we are going to learn about the odd one out question in non-verbal reasoning section of 11 plus exam. In today's video we are going to see an advanced example of odd one out which involves identifying a shape, figure, pattern that doesn't fit in with the rest of the figures. These type of questions test a student ability to recognize differences in size, shape, color, orientation and pattern. And the goal is to find that one particular figure that breaks the pattern or rule followed by others. If you have yet not subscribed to our channel, I would request you to do so. And if you like our content, please like our channel as well. So now let's start looking into the some of the advanced odd one out questions and their related answers. So if we look into the first question, in this particular question, if we see there are two images in all of them, and one image is always with shading, another image is with non-shading, but we do not see a common rule here without identifying the difference. So if we look a little bit closely, this particular shape is a hexagon shape, then we have a square, here we do have a triangle, then we have hexagon. Here we have a square, then we have triangle. Here we have pentagon, then triangle. Here we have pentagon and one square. So most of the time, if we look closely, the right hand side image is having less number of edges than the left hand side, and that could be one of the rule. So if we go by that rule, we can see that always the fewer side or the right hand side image which is with the fewer sides is white or without a shading, but the second option is having a more number of edges. It's a hexagon and here it's a triangle, so that's not following the pattern here, so that should be the odd one out. If we see next example into this section, if we see here, we can find all different shapes, and we don't see also the shaded line and the other lines are in equal proportion, so that cannot be the rule here. But if we look a little bit closely, in all shape the shaded part, it is made up of, here it is made up of 5 edges, here it is made up of 4 edges, here is made up of 4 edges, here it's also with 4 edges, and here is also with 4 edges. So that means the clue can be the gray shape is having 4 sides, wherein the option E is not following that particular rule. So that should be the odd one out here. Let's look into the other few examples. So if we see this particular image, we do see there are images vertical and horizontal, and each of them are having two shape wherein there are inner shape as well, and they all look similar in a count, so that cannot be the rule by which it is governed. So we need to definitely find another rule. So if we see a little bit closely in this example, the inner shape in both rectangle are following similar pattern, either shading or non-shading, except option D. Herein one inner image is without shading and another is with a shading, a dark shading, but rest of them are following the similar shading, so that can be one of the rule. And if we go by that rule, the option C sorry, the option D should be the odd one out here. So let's select that. Let's have a look into the next example here. So this example, we see two rectangular lines in all the shapes, and their length cannot be the clue because they are all having a different length. But we do see one common pattern. So in rest of the options like option A, C, D, and E, both rectangular lines are crossing each other. However, the option B is not crossing. So that can be a rule wherein shapes are overlapping, and option B is not following that particular rule. Now let's look into another few examples. So the question 5, we do see a similar type of shape. However, they are all different in the way they are orientation is. So if we look a little bit closely, we also cannot identify by these inner triangles which are there. Here there are inner triangles are 3, then 2, then 3, then 2, then 3. So that is also not the rule. So we need to definitely find a different rule. So here if we see, the dark semicircle is pointing towards the hatched ones. Here also the dark semicircle is pointing towards the hatched ones. Here also it is the same case. However, here in we do a light shaded semicircle is pointing towards the dark circle, which is a different rule. And then let's have a look into the option E. Here also the dark semicircle is pointing towards the hashed semicircle. So if we go by that rule, the option D should be the odd one out. Now let's have a look into the next example. So in this example, if we see, we can see in all shape the similar kind of two shapes which are joined with arrow. And in this particular shape, we do see both the arrows are starting from center part of the shapes. However, here one is touching corner. Here also one arrow is touching corner. Here also one arrow is touching into corner. Here also one arrow is touching into corners. That can be one rule. So if we go by that rule, the option A should be the odd one out because both the arrows are starting from middle of the shape. Let's have a look into the next example. So in this example, we can see all are the shapes are different. So that cannot be a rule. If we go and count their number of shapes, that's also not matching. But then if we look little bit closely, from top to bottom they are increasing in number. So here there is one sphere, then two, then three. Here there are bricks, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here there are circles, dark circles, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here there are squares, 1, 2, 3. However, in option E, we see 1, 3, and 4. So that's not following the sequence. There should be two more sphere in between. So if you go by that rule, option E is the odd one out. Let's have a look into the next example. These examples are a bit difficult to solve, and that's why they are into the advanced odd one out question examples. So if you look into this particular example, we do see two same shape and another two shapes are a little bit same, but this is option B is completely different. But then what could be one rule by which they are governed? So if we see their inner cuts of these shapes, they are somewhere in a reflection here, 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 here. However, here if we see the inner shapes are not in reflection, so the option E should be the odd one out, because the inner cutout or inner shapes are not reflection in option E. Now let's have a look into the next example. So in the next example, if we see, always there is a triangle in a right hand side except image C. Otherwise we cannot see any other rule because they are all different in different shapes. So if we go by that particular rule, the option C should be the odd one out here. Now let's have a look into the last example. So in the last example, all the shapes are different: outer shape, inner shape, and number of circles inside. But if we check little bit more closely, the number of edge in outer shape and the number of circle inside, they are, so here we count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the number of dots are, or number of small circles are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so one less. Here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and the number of circles are 1 2 3 4 5 6, so one less again. Here 1 2 3 4 5 6, but the number of circles are 5. Here 1 2 3 4 5 6, but the number of circles are 4, which is 2 less, which doesn't follow the rule until now, followed by the other examples. Now let's have a look. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the number of inner circles are 7. So if we go by that rule, the clue should be the outer shape is having the number of edge and the inner shape is having the one less number of circles in it. So if we go by that particular rule, the option D should be odd one out here. Thanks for watching. In this video we have covered the advanced odd one out question and their answers. We'll see you into the next video. Thank you.